Hi, gang. Welcome to Behind the Rhinestones. My name is Dinah Dare, and I am the host today. We are interviewing some of the stars of the cabaret and burlesque scene in the UK and sometimes further afield. Please do like and subscribe if you're enjoying these episodes that come to you on Sundays. Today's episode is probably the most chaotic episode I have ever recorded. We decided in our infinite wisdom to do it in person because I know this performer and she doesn't live too far from me. However, on the day that we recorded, she was also dog sitting two dogs and she also has her own dog. It made it difficult. There's a lot of editing done in this one more than normal because we had quite a lot of interruptions. We hit the hysterics on more than one occasion. And sometimes you might feel like I'm repeating the question or she's repeating the statement. I've tried to edit it as much as I can, but it was chaotic. So please enjoy and welcome Annie Inferno.
My tiny wine, your tiny wine.
Just tiny wine.
Like a tiny top hat. What is it? Was it a
Oh
tiny
my god,
top
yes,
hat?
a tiny top hat. Such a burlesque thing.
That's true.
Yes, thank you so much for joining me.
That's all right.
Second take.
Mhm.
Because we have
We've
dogs.
got a lot of dogs
We've
here.
got a lot of dogs.
A lot of dogs that we weren't expecting to have here. It's a whole thing.
Annie Inferno.
Hello.
Hi. I know you're so like, we've been hanging out all day.
I know. Sorry, there are fruit flies here as well. It's a whole thing. It's been a day.
It's fine. So yeah, pretend I wasn't there.
Yes.
Pretend I do not know.
Yes.
How did you get into burlesque?
So I grew up as a dancer. That was a really big part of my childhood. I danced for about 14 years, I think. But I was always kind of loved the vintage, glamorous side of burlesque. I like vintage stuff generally and always kind of have done. I started pole dancing, and it was when I was an adult, I think kind of mid-20s, and people started saying to me, oh, the way that you move is really dynamic, like you look like a dancer, all this kind of stuff. And I was a wee bit like, oh, I hadn't ever really considered that to be like part of my persona or like who I was or whatever, part of my identity, even though I spent such a long time doing it. And yeah, I went from kind of doing pole to do like the tricks and the strong stuff to being like, oh, actually, I like the choreography and I like I don't know, it made me feel sexy and I don't think I'm a sexy person. So it was like, I think pole dancing helped me find my own sexuality and like very much be in touch with my body and stuff. And then I met someone at a flexibility class who is a burlesque performer and she teaches, and I went to her classes, and that was kind of it.
Where we met.
Yeah, I know. Oh my
God. And I got to be there at your debut,
yes,
which was so fun. And it's an act that you don't do anymore.
Yeah, it's a bit of a funny one. I think I would like to bring it back. But I think, and I know we spoke about this earlier, but like when I first started doing burlesque, that kind of dancer thing in me was like everything was choreographed within an inch of its life. And so I feel like there wasn't really the tease. There was the, I will do X, Y, and Z, and look at me, and here's my arm, and look how,
look at my line, and look at my tour.
It was all about lines and choreography and hitting the beats. And not that that's not how I perform now, but I'm much freer with how
improv queen.
Yeah. Yes.
I know you love to improv all the time.
I do. I think it's got its pros and cons. I love improv because I like being able to. I think it's a skill in itself. It doesn't scare me to get up and not really know what I'm doing, because it can kind of take you anywhere. But I think sometimes you do lose some of the music, not even the musicality, in terms of, like, I'm a musician as well, so like I get music, I kind of know how to move to music. But I think when you really know a track and when you really know where all the big bits are that you can hit, I think that can be what makes an act.
Yeah.
Is when there's a wee hit somewhere and someone does something that you're not expecting. I think that's really special. And I think when you're improv and you lose a lot of that unless it's a track that you know really well. So yeah, pros and cons to both. Yeah, like I said, I used to kind of choreograph everything within an inch of its life, and now I've gone far too far the other way. So I'm looking to find the balance between. Yeah.
Find that nice
Hello
centre.
there. Oh, hello. Hi. Hi.
I know her boobs are lovely.
Do you want to come up? You can come sit with me. Oh. Okay. Good job. No, if we're going to shout.
So obviously you do more improv now.
Yes.
And we've talked about how like that's impacted your costume. So you tend to make costumes that you can interchange and use for different things, which I think is so interesting because
Yes.
so many people don't. They have a costume and they have an act with that costume.
Yeah, I think that kind of came from, I don't know, I guess I was getting booked for more like, not even necessarily corporate stuff, but more like walkabout, showgirl, like vibe bringer sort of stuff. And I mean, the first act, the act you were talking about, was like a Venus flytrap thing, so the costume was really specific to that. And then one of my other costumes, again, is like very specific to a certain act. And it doesn't really translate if you're doing like a generic gig. So yeah, I was like, I want to do costumes in really like classic colours. I'm definitely not a classic performer, but red, black, cream. And I've got all of that now, and and even now that I have actual act plans for these costumes, I also feel like I can do multiple acts with the same costume and add, I mean, like my crab claw there, which is coming soon, hopefully. But that will go with my red costume, but then my red costume could also be something totally classic, or it could be something different. And I tend to do, like with my black costume, I have a corset and a panel skirt and two different bras and two different pants and whatever. And I have gloves and I have a showgirl headpiece with feathers, but I also have a hat, but I also have, so it's like mix and match, choose your own adventure kind of thing.
Which is fun.
Which I think is fun, but also I just think it's a smart way to work. And it kind of opens you up to different opportunities as well, rather than doing necessarily like really set kind of character acts. It means that you're a bit more versatile, I think.
You can also mix and match. You can use bits of your black and your cream and make it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like you can do that as well. Things
it's just like
marries.
It's like staple pieces, and then you have things like crab claws or like big head pieces or X, Y, and Z that actually really bring the character to the act. But actually, a lot of the kind of base pieces are more interchangeable and less about the character, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. And you make all sort of props and costume pieces and everything else. So
for my sins.
You don't necessarily make like the pants and bra, but you embellish the fuck out of everything.
Yeah.
And the amount of times I get a photo from you, like, I made a headpiece today, or I made these fucking feather fans today. Like a lot of that's self-taught. Is that right?
Yeah. So I'm I would say I'm quite a crafty person. I've always been quite crafty. Used to make cards and stuff and scrapbook when I was younger. So that's always been kind of something that I've done. So did a lot of kind of crafty stuff when I was a kid. I taught myself how to crochet. I need to always be doing something with my hands. I'm a bit like, oh! So I can't sit and watch something. I don't really go to the cinema because I can't.
Yeah, I mean, we're in your house and you don't have a TV.
No, I don't have a TV. I've not had a TV in over a decade. Hello there. So taught myself how to crochet, taught myself how to embroider. I don't use a sewing machine, which is hilarious and probably a bit stupid. So anything that I do stitches by hand. I have a very wonderful mother who puts zips into corsets for me and stuff like that. But everything else, is all kind of self-taught. Definitely things don't always work, or things fall apart and blah blah blah. But I think what I really love about burlesque is that I see everything through from like a tiny idea in my head to the finished product on stage.
Yeah.
And I find that really exciting to know that I've had a hand in all of it.
Yeah.
From an initial idea to possible costume pieces to actually buying the stuff, making the stuff, choreographing it all, cutting my own music to performing. Yeah. So I like to do the whole
shebang.
Yeah.
You get creative control.
Yeah, but I'm so tired. I am so tired all the time.
You also have the attention span of a fruit fly just because we're surrounded by them.
Yeah, no, so all the fruit
you're
flies.
like, I have an idea. Like you're working on like 3 or 4 different acts.
I think it's about 6 actually, but let's not talk about that. I think this is actually one thing that I find quite difficult sometimes is that I see performers and sometimes new performers who are just like churning acts out, and I'm like, I've been doing this for quite a while now, and I think really I only have like one act at the moment that I would be like, this is something that I would be like, book me for this specific act. Everything else is kind of improv. And then kind of so much happening, you have no idea. Then I kind of remember that actually, like, I work full time and I study and X, Y, and Z, and that this can't be my full time gig.
But also an idea needs to percolate. Like I talk about this, like my baby girl took like a year and a bit.
Oh yeah,
so, like,
and
a year and a half from idea to birth.
Yeah, and I've got ideas that have been kind of rolling around in my head for quite a long time, and I've got costume pieces that are kind of ready to go, but then I'm maybe waiting on like one bit or whatever. Like, you know, I've got lots of stuff going on. I've been doing quite a lot of sing and fling recently. I don't know if I really enjoy it. I do enjoy it because I like the singing part. You're just so tied to the microphone, and unless you're going to get a headset microphone, and then I don't really know how I feel about that. So I've been playing about with that and trying to work out if that is something that I want to do, because another thing I really like doing with burlesque is like incorporating all the different stuff that I do. And yeah, I'm not
a multi-talented girl.
I try. I'm not sure about the sing and fling. The jury's out on that one, but yeah.
Well, I suppose when I think of you, I think floor work, right?
I know, but why does no one have a stage that I can do floor work on? I just want to backwards roll into a split, and like, why will you not let me live?
Like, it's kind of hard to do when you're tied to a mic, also.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, I know you can still have time to do splits depending on the song that you sing or whatever, but you can't do. Like, one of my core memories of you is riding rooms in Glasgow.
My first ever, before I even did burlesque.
Before you even did burlesque, you did floor work, and like basically in front of the bar.
I did dance in front of the bar, which then changed the way that people performed at riding room, apparently, because people always used to be on the stage.
Yep.
And so basically, I think what happened was the performer that they had booked for that night, it was supposed to be like a musical act or something, had pulled out.
Okay.
And the teacher, whose classes I was going to, was asked if they could cover with students from the school and themselves and whatever. And so they said yes, and they asked me if I wanted to perform, and I was like, I don't have any burlesque routines, I don't know. And they were like, yeah, but you're a performer. So I ended up doing a floor work routine to Daydream in Blue. I Monster, I think is the artist. That might be wrong. And when they saw me practicing, they were like, that's not the routine you're going to do tonight, is it? And I was like, yeah, because I hadn't been to the venue. And they were like, you won't be able to do that, because I was doing kips and backwards rolls into splits and whatever. And they were like, no. And I was like, can I dance in front of the bar? And so we did, and I'll never forget Tom Harlow being like, bitch, you need to move. Because people were like standing in front of the bar, and they were like, ha ha ha. And they were like, no, seriously, if you don't move, you're going to get a heel to the face, essentially. Yeah, that was a fun routine, fun night.
I feel like you forgot about that entirely.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot I used to do that. I did that act at the Scottish Tattoo Convention in front of families.
Because I was also there.
Yeah, you were stripping. At least I wasn't stripping. The Scottish Tattoo. Oh my god, I'm actually dying thinking about it. The Scottish Tattoo Convention, who they weren't primed for burlesque or
no, they were just like, here's some performers
or dancing of any kind, and they were like, here are some performers, and it was all like families and children, and people were taking their clothes off, and I was like,
My partner's brother was on that.
Yeah, the whole thing. It was not a vibe. It was not
Apparently,
a vibe.
he was like,
Yeah, but also you were like doing the teas, and I mean not me, because again I was just fucking the floor. I wasn't like removing clothes.
That was your thing.
But people were like removing clothes to dead silence, and I was like, this is.
It was painful.
Yeah, it was painful for me.
And it was
to
not
watch
like dead silence, and like it's because there's no people. There was like
no, it was like a full
rows of people.
It was the Scottish Tattoo Convention. It was full. It was full of people. There were hundreds of people.
Yeah, and they're all just standing there looking at you like at like fucking 2:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
Well,
it wasn't
which
good.
was great. So I know this story, but I think it's fucking hilarious.
Oh no.
Origin of your name.
Okay, yeah, people ask me this quite a lot, like over message, and I'm like, so
it's hard to explain it over message.
So I'm Annie Inferno. A very good friend of mine from Sheffield was telling me a story once about someone that her parents knew, and she was like, Annie Inferno, and I was like, Annie Inferno, what an incredible woman. And she was like, not Annie Inferno, Annie Inferno. And it turned out it was just this like old French couple called Annie Inferno. But because of her accent, Annie Inferno, I thought Annie Inferno was a person. And then I did see pictures of Annie, and she was like this glamorous, incredible woman. And I was like, she is Annie Inferno.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was for the. I remember her saying to me, because we were like pissing ourselves laughing, rolling about the floor, sort of thing. Hello, you. And she was like, if you ever do any kind of performance, then this is the name that you should use.
How would you describe your style?
Oh god. Oh god.
I love how you're like,
is everyone as chaotic on your podcast as me? Just like,
no, this is the most chaotic interview. Right?
Is this the only one you've done in person?
No, I've done one other one, but it was in Canada.
I see why you do it online.
Yeah.
I'm like, hi, welcome to my house. How would I describe my style? I don't really know. I think a lot of it's quite cheeky.
Mm-hmm.
I think cheeky is probably the word I would go with. Cheeky, flirty. I don't take myself very seriously in life or in burlesque. So I just can't bring myself to do a serious classic act because I don't think I can do it. I don't think I've got it in me. So I'm always like, I feel like everything's a wee bit like,
kind of cheesecakey, but not cheesecakey.
Yeah.
Like cutesy.
I don't think I'm cute enough to. I'm too filthy.
Too voluptuous.
I'm too filthy to be cheesecakey.
Yeah.
I would actually
but you are kind of like you're cutesy, but filth.
I was going to say like a lot of my. Don't mind me drinking my tiny wine. I think a lot of my movement is inspired by strippers. A lot of my movement comes from that stripper style, which I've learned from strippers and which definitely came from me kind of coming up through pole, which I think is why I'm like really into the floor work stuff. I like the kind of floor acrobatic-y bits and pieces, but yeah, I would say a lot of my movement is stripper informed, which I think, and I've had to change the way that I teach and things like that because a lot of people aren't necessarily comfortable with like touching their bodies in the way that I touch mine or moving in the way that I move. I would say I'm that kind of cheeky but filthy is yeah.
I feel like your signature act summarizes that really well.
yeah. Yeah, probably.
Which when you're watching is a tap dance.
Yes.
To WAP.
Well, that's not fair. That's not fair. I really wanted to play with this, like, oh, I'm just this wholesome, like, to come out in the yellow raincoat, like, oh my god, I'm so delighted to be here. Everything is so wonderful. I am so adorable. Look at me. Oh my god, I've got tap shoes on. Did you notice? And then a tap dance to Singing in the Rain. And it's all like, it's a bit of a pastiche. It's all quite like,
very cute.
It's quite like stereotypical, like, theatre. And then the music starts to skip, and then it cuts to that bit from Mean Girls where she's like, it's 68 degrees and it's already raining. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then, it goes into a funk version of WAP because I basically wanted to I had thought about using Wet by Snoop Dogg, so this is like pre-lockdown. And then I listened to the music and I was like, there's not enough in it for me. Like Snoop Dogg's actual version of Wet rather than the David Guetta, which I think is Sweat.
Yeah.
Which wasn't dirty enough for me. I was like, it needs to be wet, it needs to tie into the rain thing, it needs whatever. And Snoop Dogg's version is very like stripped back and it's just this kind of beat. And I was like, there's not enough energy to go from this like to this kind of like
Fly.
bare beat. Essentially, I don't know, probably someone else could have made it work, but I couldn't really make it work. And I was meant to debut this act just before lockdown, and that is the track that I was working with, and then lockdown happened, so I didn't get to debut it. And WAP came out during lockdown, and then someone did a funk version of it, and I was like, this is perfect, because it has that kind of, you know, like,
yeah, it was meant to
happen. It had the energy that I needed, and people love it. And I think because it's not the original version of WAP, it takes people a few seconds. Well, I mean, first of all, people are like, what is happening? Because it's like Mean Girls and blah, blah, blah. And I'm on stage like, and it takes them a few seconds when they start hearing the certified freak, 7 days a week, that where that's the God. And people are like, oh my God, this is WAP. So that's always kind of fun, I think. The night that I performed it for the first time at Riding Room, there was a young couple in the splash zone who were like, oh my God, iconic. Thank you. I've got you, don't worry. Yeah.
That's sweet.
It was very sweet. Yeah. I think about them often. I hope they're well.
You're like, I hope you're still together.
I know, like, oh my God, I hope they're still together. Don't dynamic duo.
We talked a little bit about how you've been performing technically for what, 5 years, but not really.
Oh, yeah. So I think about this a lot. There are a lot of people who I guess would class themselves as new performers who have had a lot more stage time than I have. I definitely wasn't new to the stage when I started burlesque. Like I said, grew up as a dancer. I'm a musician. I've done like theatre stuff. Blow me later kind of thing. I've been on stage a lot. But yeah, I debuted, I think I'd done 2 solo performances before lockdown. And then obviously
lockdown, the world ended.
Everything was shut and no one could do anything, and everyone was like, I really miss performing, and I was like, same, but I've technically only done it in this capacity a couple of times. So I feel like I missed out on a lot of opportunities as well in terms of like newcomer competitions. I didn't know about any of that kind of stuff. And then when I did kind of find out about it, I was like,
you'd aged out.
I was like, oh, I've technically been doing this too long. And I know, in fairness, a lot of places did say like, oh, we're extending it because people locked down, whatever. But I do feel like I missed out on a lot of the newcomer stuff and the stuff in the industry that is tailored towards people who haven't performed much. So technically, even though I was in like my 3rd, 4th year of performing, I was like, I'm so new to this, you know. Yeah, it's just one of those things. It was a weird time for everything.
It was a bizarre time.
Yes.
But then also you have to take into account that, like, I mean, how many fucking degrees do you have now? Like 5 bajillion.
She's a smart girly.
She's a smart girly. You work, you study. Like, you've taken massive times out of being on the stage and then come back to it as well.
Well, that was the thing as well, actually. Thank you for reminding me. So yeah, debuted summer 2019, so I did that, and then I did another show, and then obviously a lot of shows you need to have 2 acts to do it, so I wasn't.
Yeah,
I couldn't because
that was when you started working on.
Because I had 1 act, so then my WAP tap, WAP.
Your WAP tap, your tap WAP.
Terrible.
WAP tap WAP.
So bad.
You've not even had that much.
No, I know, tiny ones. Don't let the bottle fill you. Most of it went into the lunch, to be honest. But yeah, completely lost my train of thought.
You had to have 2 acts.
So yeah, so that kind of meant that I couldn't apply for a lot of stuff. Yeah. And then obviously March 2020, everything kind of fell apart. And then 2021, when things were kind of starting to happen again, I had just been accepted onto a 2-year full-time master's in a different country that I was commuting to. So it was, don't ever do that. It was really stupid. I got the master's and that's fine, but it was wild. That was a stupid thing. And then my dog had a really bad accident and blah, blah, blah. And it was just like, huh. And so I wasn't really performing because I didn't have the time. So technically between like end of 2021 and summer 2023, I maybe performed like 3 or 4 times. And if I'm honest, it's only really been in the past like year and a bit that I've kind of been like,
steady work.
probably the past year and a half, or 2 years it'll be. Oh God, 2025. Yeah, almost 2 years, I would say. It's been that I've been like, oh, I actually really want to do this.
Yeah.
And like I can do this and I'm not bad at this. So, but yeah, definitely had lots of time out. And I think I'm quite hard on myself sometimes when I'm like, well, you've technically been performing for 6 years. And it's like, fuck all that. Who cares? It doesn't matter. I don't think time and whatever doesn't mean that you're a good performer, and it doesn't mean you're a seasoned performer. You get people who come onto the scene and do their first gig and kill because they're just incredible performers, and you get people who have been doing it 10-15 years who still don't maybe consider the craft in a certain way. And I don't think that necessarily because you've been doing it a long time it means that you deserve a seat at the table, or
Yeah, I totally get what you mean. It's
because I still consider myself a newbie.
Yeah,
I know that I'm not, and actually, like, I can see how far I've come, and like I said, going from like choreographing everything to whatever. But also, like, I can get up on stage, and I always get very nervous for any kind of performance, whether it's music, burlesque, whatever. But I don't have the same like terror that I'm like, oh my God, what if
you don't have the same imposter syndrome? I can't do this.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that if I get on stage, even if it's not to my standards, I'll still put on a good show. I think I'm at that level where I'm like, I can do it.
You know what you're doing.
Yeah,
you know what
I
you're
guess so. Do you? I don't know. Don't call me on that. I don't know.
No, I think that's totally true though, because like you always have to be learning. And we always are.
Absolutely, you always have to be learning. I still go to dance classes. I don't necessarily go to like burlesque classes at the moment.
I'm the same with
not not for any reason, just whatever. But I am back going to like, and again, it's not a regular thing because oh my God, I'm so busy and tired. But like, I've really been enjoying dropping into like heels classes. I sometimes still go to like pole, very much like stripper style, taught by strippers. That kind of work, because that again, that's my bread and butter. I love it. I love that movement. I love the sensuality. I love that kind of connection with your body. Sorry, I'm just like battering my mic here. And then pushing myself into a totally different, like when I grew up and I was dancing, it was tap, ballet and jazz.
Yeah.
So to do this heels, not quite commercial. I can't do commercial. I don't have the attitude for commercial. I'm there like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, I'm here. Everyone's like, fucking yeah! And I'm like, oh, is this? I can't.
I enjoy commercial, but I'm so white.
No, I can't do commercial. Commercial is not for me because I'm so apologetic for the fact that I'm there. I like the heels stuff, and it's really funny because I think definitely when I started doing pole, I remember like learning how to body wave against the pole, and I was like, I can't do that. I can't do, and I was like, what's like. I was like the most awkward person on the planet, and I was like, I'm so embarrassed. I'm so embarrassed that I have a body. I'm so embarrassed that maybe people are looking at my body. Oh my God, I can't touch my body.
Now you're like, and
now I'm like, fucking, if anyone can touch my body, it's me, actually. Unapologetically sort of thing. But I remember I went to a choreography class, and I felt so uncomfortable the whole time at this pole floor work thing. And I filmed it. Film everything. It's so good. I can't. Yeah, filming is so valuable. But I watched it back and I was like, oh, you don't look as awkward as you felt. And then I think that was my journey to very much, number one rule of burlesque, if in doubt, touch yourself. Like, but now I would say that's my comfort zone is now in that like sexy, like, oh, whereas before I was like, oh. Yeah.
Do you think you'll ever do like a pure classic slow burn set? Never say never.
I feel like if I was going to challenge myself, then I would, yeah. Because I think doing the kind of tongue-in-cheek, like silly thing, I think comes quite naturally to me. So yeah, it would be a massive challenge. I think I could. I don't know if I'm willing to put. I don't have the bandwidth. What is it that people are saying? Like, I don't have the capacity. Whatever. At the moment, I don't have the time nor the wherewithal to challenge myself in that way.
Too busy making fucking crab claws.
I swear to fuck. Do you know how long that took me? And I've got another one to do. I'm so mad, and then I'm going to throw it when I'm on stage, and it's going to fall apart, and it's going to be tragic, but it looks so good.
Maybe you could just keep it as a centerpiece.
Yeah, fuck the act.
Yeah.
Fuck the.
Don't need the act.
I feel like maybe I could like take them off and place them down.
Yeah.
That could be part of it. Hand them to someone and be like, I swear to God, if you move. Because yeah.
One rhinestone comes off of that fucking interview.
It took me a very long time. I've not even done the bottom yet.
Oh, if it looks good though.
It does look, yeah, good.
We talked a little bit earlier today about the social media.
Oh no.
The fear.
I know, I'm like, what are you going to ask me? I know that you've got questions in your head. Devil women.
We've talked a little bit about social media and how you are very good at curating at how much you let people in.
Yes.
On social media.
Yes.
Is that something you're super conscious of, or is that just something that you are a private person and therefore you don't tend to share as much online?
I think it's a bit of both.
Okay.
It's taken a lot of learning. I won't share what I do, but my day job is not something that taking my clothes off which I don't agree with, but it would essentially jeopardize the work that I do day to day. And I love my job, and I've worked very hard to get to the position that I'm in, and I'm not willing to. I just can't have my two worlds meet. Yeah. And again, I don't agree with it, but that is the reality of what I do. So my real name, I just don't associate it with anything. And generally, like if you do meet me, I will tell you that my name is Annie, and it's not because I'm trying to be like evasive or whatever. It's a kind of self-preservation thing. But then also I'm just quite a private person, and I know we spoke about this earlier, but like I think I'm very good at talking but not saying anything. So I think I'm quite good at letting people think, and it sounds quite manipulative, and it's not. I'm quite private. I'll let you know what you need to know about me, and unless we're like connected or friends on a certain level, then it takes quite a while to get to know me. I think
I've known you for a long time, and I would say that.
Yeah. And again, it's not out of badness. It's not because I'm like, I'm trying to be mysterious or whatever. I just am a private person. So from looking at my social media, you probably won't know if I'm in a relationship at any point. You won't know what I do for work other than burlesque or sometimes music. There'll be a lot of posts about my dog. Other than that, I tend to be quite...
Yeah, which I think's fine. So is it in your head, is Annie like a separate entity from legal name?
I don't know if I ever think about it in that much detail. I just know that I exist online as...
That's who you're on.
Annie, yeah. And when I perform, I'm Annie, and people address me as that, and that's kind of how it works, and I'm comfortable with that. It's funny, I think even people who know my name and who know who I am, like in the kind of cabaret world, still address me as Annie, and I do appreciate that.
Everyone calls me fucking Zaina. It's hilarious. unless you're family or in my day job.
It took me such.
You still call me my legal name.
I know, I'm sorry. It's fine. Only to you. Yeah. And to anyone else, I call you.
Yeah.
Dinah.
Yeah.
But yeah, to you, I'm always like that.
Which I don't mind, because I'll refer to you as your actual name a lot to like my partner and
yeah,
stuff.
because, exactly. Like, because that's how. Yeah. That's
also, I have a cat called Annie, so
I know. I'm always like, my gal. Yeah, it's a funny one. It took me quite a long time to get used to people calling me Annie.
Yeah.
And I'd be on gigs and people would be like, Annie. And I was like,
oh my god, I still get that.
And they'd
people
be
like, Dinah.
Annie. Yeah. And I'd be like, oh, hello, sorry, it's me, I'm here. I am listening. I just forgot that that's my name.
I even get it in pole class, like, because it's in my Instagram.
This is the thing.
People be like, Dinah. And I'm like, sorry.
The heels class. Oh my god, the heels class that I went to, which again, the heels class that I signed up for used my performer email address, so it just auto-filled like Annie Inferno, whatever. And so the girl who runs the classes calls me Annie and introduced me to everyone as Annie, and I was like, oh shit, it's not my name, but that's okay. Yeah, cool. Yeah.
Fine.
It's fine. It's whatever.
I had a weird one. I went to that dance class, as you know.
Yes, yeah.
But someone from my day job actually goes to that class as well. She's lovely. And thankfully, like, some people in my work know what I do. Not everyone, but some of them do. So, like, I got asked, oh, what's your name? And I had a moment of, I don't know what name to give.
I know, I do that sometimes. And I think, like, when we did the Bar Awards in February, someone was trying to chat me up. And he was like, what's your name? And I just instinctively, because I was working, was like, Annie. But then he was like, obviously trying to date me. And then I was like, oh, by the way, my name's not Annie. And he was like, what? And I was like, oh, this is not a good way to, maybe let's just not do this.
Yeah.
Because, he was a bit like, oh, well, you've not even told me your real name. And I was like, oh, God, it doesn't matter.
No.
It's fine. It's all fine.
I got a time, they're like, what's your name? And I'm like, Dinah. And then they're like, oh, what's your performer name? And I'm like, Dinah.
I know. It's cute that you think I'm going to tell you my actual.
Yeah, it's sweet that you think you're getting my legal name, babes. That's an interesting point, actually. Like, thinking of, hiya, baby girl.
Hello.
That's my boobs.
You are really mischievous.
You are very sweet. Have you had a lot of unwanted attention when you are performing or when you're working?
Yeah, yes. So actually, when I was performing the other night, I was getting a drink. I was getting a glass of water at the bar, and I was in a corset and a thong, and the show hadn't started or anything. I was like an hour early, and a woman just grabbed my arse, and I was a bit like, oh, okay. I didn't do anything or say anything about it, which I probably should have, but also it was just so like, oh, it kind of took me by surprise. I have had someone grab my bum when I was performing one night, and I spoke to the booker and he threw them out straight away. He was great. And then like at the Bar Awards, I had someone gave me his business card, which is like lame. No, it's fine. Anyway, it was lame. He gave me his business. He gave another dancer his business card to give to me.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Are we in high school?
And then kind of hounded me for quite a while. Yeah, I would say I get more unwanted attention online, if I'm honest. I think people feel entitled to your time.
Yep.
And also if you present yourself in a certain way on social media, at least in my experience, I'm very aware that a lot of my stuff, I would say less so recently because I'm fucking lazy and I don't ever post. But in the past, a lot of my content has been quite like sexual or provocative, as is my right and my want to do.
Yeah.
But that seems to make people think there's like an open invitation to.
Yeah. I'll always remember, stripper or no?
Stripper or no? So I got a message once that said stripper or no, and then the emoji. And it always became like a meme where we would all just be like,
There's a picture of us all in a hot tub.
Yeah. Not me, because I was passed out. I just had a really bad breakup and was full white. But yeah, I mean, I get like really sexually explicit messages from generally men. Sorry, but that's the truth. Yeah, like quite graphic, like this is what I want to do to you, blah blah blah. No hello, no opener, no can I pay you for your time? You know, none of that kind of stuff. Just people assume that if you present yourself in a certain way that you're fair game, essentially, which I think is disgusting.
Yeah, it is.
People are disgusting.
People are fucking grim.
Yeah.
You've obviously been doing, as we talked about, you've been kind of in and out for a while.
Yes.
Correct. What do you think? What do you think of the biggest changes you've seen since you've joined, and what do you think needs to change in the general community?
Oh God, you're not fucking about, are you? Biggest changes I've seen. Lots and lots of people do burlesque. Lots of performers, and like I said earlier, maybe that's why I subconsciously want to do different bits and pieces. Maybe I think again subconsciously that's why I tap dance. That's why I've been flirting with sing and fling. That's why I'm trying to do something to stand out, to set myself apart, because like even just in Glasgow there are so many people performing and everyone's great in their own right, you know, but it's fucking hard. It's a very saturated market, and I don't mean that in a bad way. Like and obviously I would never like discourage people from like doing burlesque because it's amazing and it can offer you so much and blah blah blah. But yeah, it just fuck. It's hard. You know what I mean? And then again, like I get booked for kind of like regular gigs, and I'm like, me, little me, like really, you know? Because I'm just like, oh God, there are so many of us. So I feel very lucky, I guess. I know I work hard, but like it's nice to get booked for stuff. It's a wee bit of recognition, I guess.
Yeah.
What needs to change? Oh God, it's just so expensive, isn't it? I think part of the reason that I make everything and do everything myself as well is money. I don't necessarily have the money to pay other people to do the stuff for me, so I do it myself. I beg, borrow, and steal.
Don't you steal? I mean, like you beg, borrow, and sew.
I beg, borrow, and sew by hand. With bitching using the machine. Yeah, I beg, borrow, and the other. Oh, that's terrible. No, I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, cool. Next question. No. Stuff's expensive, and then like even considering like applying to festivals and stuff like that, and you're hit with like a €20 application fee, or I get it. I get why they do it, and I get, you know, people are trying to keep the festivals running and whatever, but then you're a wee bit like, you know, if you apply to 5, 10 festivals and everything's between €5 and €20 or whatever, then suddenly you're out quite a lot of money. And again, like there are so many people applying, and you're like, oh God, I've just spent like €200-300 and nothing's come of it, sort of thing. So yeah, that would be nice. I haven't really thought about, to be honest, and I know I've said this to you before, I don't really involve myself in a lot of the community. I know we're running an event next week. And part of the reason that I wanted to do that is because I don't think they're definitely in Scotland, I would say there's not really like a community. It's quite separated. And I don't really like that. And I want to kind of grow that. I want people to network. I want there to be opportunities for people to be Memphis. We're going to close this window so that you can't jump out of it, my sweet friend. I know it's rubbish when you can't escape out the window. Oh, that's okay.
Escape artist in the house.
I know, Houdini here. they're all sighthounds, they're all fucking Houdinis. Yeah, I don't necessarily think there is like a strong community. I think it's quite separated, and I think that's a shame.
Yeah.
Because there are lots of cool people and there's a lot of cool stuff going on and no one really speaks, and it's like the scene in Edinburgh, I don't really seem to collaborate with the scene in Glasgow, but then even in Glasgow the scene's totally fractured, and like, do you know what I mean? And then there's some cool stuff going on up in Inverness and that's miles away, and you're just, it would be nice for there to be more of a network, and to feel more comfortable. I've had this experience like doing pole and doing dance generally, like if you train at one studio, people don't like it if you go somewhere else, and I just think that's bullshit. Like, especially as a like musician, learning from different people, learning different skills, and also as a teacher, accepting that you're not incredible at everything and that other people offer things that you don't. People go to different places not because they don't value your teaching, but maybe because they want something different or they resonate with a different style. And I think as a student, feeling free to do that without fear of being like shunned by, you know, and I think that's quite difficult in the
and there's
in the
so
scene.
many different ones. You've got like, I'm not saying any of these people stop other people from performing, but people tend to stay in a comfort zone. You've got Tootsie's girls, you've got Blondie's girls, you've got the Inverness crowd, you've got the Glasgow crowd, Glasgow School of Burlesque crowd, you've got like there's all these little factions, essentially.
You should be like hanging out and collaborating and being like, oh, this is really cool, like Tootsie teaches like this, but actually if you go to Agatha, she does this and she's really great at that, and then but actually if you can make it to Blondie's classes, she does this and it's totally different. And I think celebrate that. It shouldn't be a divisive thing, and maybe that's just my experience of it, maybe other people don't see it like that, but I do find that it's quite fractured.
We've talked about, we are weirdly disconnected from our local
scene. I'm not involved in the scene at all. It's really bad. Like,
I say I'm
a terrible example, but again, like that's why when I was saying to you I wanted to do this workshop day, because I was like, we're not kind of connected to any school or we're not affiliated with anything, which I think is quite exciting, because like the list of people that we've got coming, I don't know who a lot of them are.
No, they're very,
but then the people who I do know, I'm like, oh, you're from like you're a pole dancer and you're a pole dancer but from somewhere completely different, and then you're a burlesque dancer who trains somewhere else, and it's all this. I just think it's exciting. It's exciting to meet people. I think it's important to meet people who don't do what you do, because that's how you learn. Because if you just always do what you do all the time, then
you don't change. And you don't learn.
You don't learn.
You don't learn.
Exactly.
You don't work out how to do different things.
You just do your own thing all the time, and you get comfortable and you get complacent, I think, a lot of the time.
100%. That's why I'm always encouraging you to like go. I'm like, apply at a festival.
No. I'm scared, okay?
But I think you would be, it's that you get to meet different performers, you get to learn from different people, you can take your style, you can see other styles. Like going to regular festivals, it is a privilege. But it's definitely opened so much.
Absolutely, of course, and just being part of like the wider scene.
Which is probably why I'm less to do with anything in the local scene.
I have no excuse. Well, no, I don't.
You do. I was like,
lots of other stuff. But also, like, I'm just like, I turn up and I do my gigs, and that's not like me being like, oh, I don't speak to anyone or whatever. I do, and I think, I mean, I still get booked regularly for stuff, so
you just don't mess
so obviously people don't think I'm a horrible person. I hope. Maybe they do, and they just book me anyway. I don't know. If they do, then more fool them. But yeah, I try not to. I think because I am so busy, and again, like I love burlesque desperately, but it's not my full-time thing. It's not my be-all and end-all, and I don't have the I don't have the time, and I don't have the again the wherewithal, the desire to be part of the like just drama and stuff. I love watching it. I won't lie, I love it. I'm like, oh my god, tell me everything. As long as I'm not involved, I'm like,
when it was just a whisper.
I'm like, sorry, they said what?
But you've also been trying to like curate new events and grow our scene, because like obviously we do the bartenders ball together.
Very. Oh God, I love it so much.
But you've also like you're trying to curate. There was a show in the Amsterdam. You've been talking about doing a live band show.
So we did the Absent Ear, which is one of it's in the top 50 cocktail bars in the UK. It's top 30. I can't remember what number they are, but they're like great, incredible bar in Glasgow, incredible bar team. You go down the stairs, you press the ear on a painting, and someone opens a little thing and they ask you for the password. And it's this like speakeasy. I remember the first time I went, I was like, I need to perform here. It needs to happen. Everything's red lit. I think it's got 30 covers. It's like tiny little venue. And finally last year they relented and let me put on a show there. And it was this kind of improv, immersive thing, just two performers. We did like 3 acts each of improv. We got paid well. We did it in conjunction with Hendrix. The bar were happy. We were happy. The punters were happy. It was just incredible. So that was great. I know quite a lot of people who work in hospitality, just socially. And one thing that I think is what happens a lot in Glasgow definitely is that people put on events in venues, but they just like book a room.
Yeah.
The venue does not give a single fuck about what's going on as long as they're getting the money for the rent. Which means that the only way to promote it is to shout about it on social media. So you're shouting to a cabaret audience who follow you, who already know blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
Whereas when I did the show at the Absent Ear, other than 2 of my pals who came, I mean, it sold out. It sold out within a couple of days, 30 covers, whatever. I didn't know anyone other than a girl who used to go to burlesque classes with us, who came with her partner and like their friends, and that was great. But I was like, I don't know any of these people, because the bar, who have got like 30 something thousand followers, I think, they advertised it.
Yep.
And that's not a cabaret crowd. Maybe some of them are, but it's not a cabaret crowd, it's their bar. And I think we need to do more of that. We need to do more like collaborative stuff with venues. So instead of just like booking a room, use the connections that you have, use the people that you don't use. I don't mean use the people that you know.
Use them!
Use them! Take them for everything they're worth. No, like if you know someone who works in a bar or a venue that you think might work, be like, hey, could we do this together? Because also, so many shows now are like failing or not being able to go ahead because, you know, whatever, because ultimately producers know that they're not going to be able to pay their performers. If you do it in conjunction with a venue or with someone else, it takes the financial burden off of you.
Yeah.
It maybe halves it, maybe they pony up the money. Like, do you know what I mean? So
yeah.
I think it's just like being creative with what we do. So yeah, you maybe always do this show at this bar because they give you the space for 100 quid or whatever, but like what else could you do? Like, and yeah, again, like at the Absent Ear, Hendrix sponsored us, but we got that because we were doing it with the Absent Ear, and they basically asked Hendrix for
money,
free booze. So you know, and then the bar put on a certain cocktail list, and then essentially like it was just profit.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have been able to do that on my own.
Yeah.
So it's yeah.
We've obviously been talking this afternoon about how do we get gigs out of the normal corporate gigs as well? Like, what are the other options out there? And I think there's an entrepreneurship aspect to this job.
People shy away from it. Like, talk about the business. Like, if you want, do you know what? If you want to just like be booked for a couple of gigs and turn up and perform and then leave, then that's totally fine. But also, if you want to make this more of a career, if you want to make this something that you can do long term or whatever, if you want it to be a financial,
even if you just want it to pay for itself.
But yeah, like I think the days are gone where you can just sit and expect the work to come to you. I think in a lot of industries, actually, everyone's skint. The world is on fire, as we know, but like financially, be proactive and do do stuff. And like I just said, get creative. Think about who do I know who's not related to this world at all? What could I do with them? Or my friend who, so again, not burlesque, but like I teach yoga. My friend has just opened her own floristry studio. And I was like, will we do like a monthly thing that will be like a community building thing where we do yoga, and then at the end of the yoga class you get a wee posy of flowers, and then we can link in with the coffee shop literally next door to the studio, and you also get a matcha or a coffee. And she was like, yeah. So we did our first one the other week and it was great. So it's like thinking about, oh God, I need to teach yoga in a yoga studio. No, you don't. Yeah. Like, where else do you have a place? Where else can you do things? What else can you do? How can you be creative and give people value for money as well?
So, yeah. You naturally have that entrepreneurship brain.
I don't know how. Honestly, I'm like, fucking Dale boy.
You're like, what money can I make today?
Making nothing good, nothing good.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, I think you do tend to think of like, oh, what can we do and how can we make this work, and what, like, yeah, how can we give people value for money?
Well, as my father says, I have monetized everything that I love. I have turned literally everything that I love into careers.
It's not the worst thing in the world, but as long as you have something you enjoy.
That's why I don't know how to relax. Go and do the thing that helps you relax, and I'm like, I can't because it's my job.
Yeah,
all of it is my job. Everything.
That's
is
why
my job.
I don't perform pole.
Because
I'm fair. Like, it's an enjoyable thing. It's nothing else.
Yeah, that's fair.
I've made a really hard
line. Boundaries.
Yeah.
Boundaries.
No, even like I will even do like a showcase, like a student showcase.
Yeah,
like,
it's too stressful.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't need that.
Yeah.
Plus, I get to host mine and I get paid.
Well, yeah. So you've technically turned it into a job. It's just not performing. Yeah, I guess so.
I feel like you naturally think of that. You look like what you just said. You've looked at it and went, oh, well, like, oh, you're opening this. Why don't we do a yoga thing? Why don't we?
Gaps in the market. Or I think it's just being, I mean, we're supposed to be creative people, aren't we? I know that I said earlier on I'm not creative. I was kind of kidding. But I think it's about recontextualizing stuff.
Yes.
I would say. Yes. And being like,
we're all creative making acts, but actually, can you be creative about where can we perform? Where can we be?
Where can we teach? I've been teaching a lot more this year, which has been great. It's a total eye-opening experience. Yeah. You kind of never know, especially if you're doing like workshops and you don't know who you're working with, and then you're like, oh God, I had all of this stuff planned and none of it works actually. So it's like thinking on your feet. So it's a totally different skill, but I've been enjoying that. I'm always totally humbled and like feel so lucky that people want to learn from me as well. I'm like, are you sure?
You're like me.
I'm like, oh my God, right. But yeah, it's class. I love teaching. So yeah, it's a bit like burlesque doesn't have to be just the performance on stage. It can be costume making for people. It can be act reviewing. It can be helping people choreograph. Like I did some act development stuff with someone a couple of months ago, where they were stuck with their floor work section, and they were like, it was you specifically I wanted to work with because floor work. And I was like, oh, that's so nice, you know. So we spent an hour doing that. But it's like, especially if you want to make this like a business, because again, it is. If you're performing at a certain level, if you're teaching at a certain level, blah blah blah, then it's a job. Then what else can you do with it? Don't limit yourself to just the time on stage. How else can you?
Yeah, there's so many skills as well that cross over. Like obviously we're talking about this workshop day that we're doing on Saturday, which by the time this goes out will have been. I'm sure that'll have been wonderful. One of the workshops I'm teaching there is booking and branding, and like specifically the branding part can go beyond a burlesque performer. It can be any. You can apply that. What I'm going to talk about, you can apply it to a business. You can apply it to anything at all. So we have transferable skills, and I know there's performers that have been doing this for 20 plus years that have actually been moving into like confidence coaching with people.
Yeah, absolutely.
As well. So like, I think we need to be more open at what skills do we have that we can apply elsewhere that still fills us up. It's still what we do, But how can we
But it's like you said,
expand
it's
that?
transferable skills, and it's about using your expertise, whatever they might be, in different contexts. It's just recontextualizing what you do.
I don't think we're very good at as a community.
Yeah.
Community.
Oh my god, I'm gonna get in so much trouble. Yeah, I think it's take your skills and do stuff with them. And like, I remember before it's where I hate presenting, I hate public speaking, it makes me feel sick to my core. Apparently I'm very good at it, but I hate it. It strikes fear in my heart. So before I started my masters, I was going to say my last masters, and I was like, that's so cunty. Before I started my last masters.
Oh my god, like my third one.
Before I was starting my I couldn't do public speaking without being like, so whatever. But then I trained as a yoga teacher, and Alice Gray, who if you're ever wanting to learn Vinyasa yoga, is incredible. But she got us teaching from day one, and I was like, oh god, I can't do it. But actually, by the end of it, people were like, you're so chill, you're such a measured presence in a room, all this kind of stuff, which I then carried into my masters when I had to do presentations. I think I was like, the swan, which apparently, it's like, hey, I'm totally fine, but underwater, it's like, oh! That was me. That is still me anytime I need to speak at anything. But I think having the yoga thing and having to be, again, you need to facilitate an experience for people. So you need to be like, oh, this and that and blah, blah, blah. I then carried that into my professional life. And then and it's transferable skills, it's recontextualizing the stuff that you already do. Do it in a different context, do it in a different capacity. And it's about finding those opportunities or making those opportunities for yourself, Yeah.
Which we're trying to do. We're trying.
I know.
We've yapped for a while.
We have.
Thank you so much.
That's all right.
It's been lovely.
Thank you.
I don't know, everyone can follow you at Annie.Inferno, is that right?
That's a really good question. I think I'm Annie.Inferno. That's bad, isn't it?
You're like, I don't know my Instagram.
Oh, jinx, sorry, that's somebody else. I'm Annie.Inferno, thank you. I'm glad you knew that.
It's fine, I know it's fine.
I'm glad you knew that. You did know, you were just asking to be polite, weren't you? That's fine.
So yeah, everyone can follow you there and see what you're up to.
That would be nice.
And by the time this went out, we'll have had a massively successful workshop over there.
Yeah, it'll be class. I'm really excited. I'm pure bug. I love working with you. You know this.
I know, it's going to be fun. Right, that's us done.
Thank you.
Yay!
Bye.